Is this a joke? I don't joke about this kind of stuff. This is not a joke. My house is very important to me. And I don't want my house to look nice. I want it to be painted perfectly.
See, now I know that you're not talking about house painters because I know
Because my paint,
how your house looks.
Because if you look at the outside of my house, like it's honestly, it would make sense. It actually makes sense because the outside of my house, it's like two-toned. It's not purposely done.
Does it need to be painted? Do you need to paint it?
I actually am I have a painter, and actually I do have a painter that's very good now. He painted the church. Did a fantastic job.
So you shouldn't be using this analogy at all because you're actually happy with the house.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done the job for me at the house yet, but he did it for the job for the church, and I really like the job he did at the church.
Oh, so okay.
So I'm going to hire him. Like he's going to be my new painter for the house.
Excellent.
So
that's good. Just so we're all clear,
so
it wasn't that guy that you're talking about. You're not talking about house painting.
Mm-mm.
You're talking about another business relationship.
Yeah. But we're saying house painting to be
right, to keep it cryptic.
Yeah, to keep it cryptic,
so that people won't know.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your two favorite facially blessed individuals. That's right, folks. It's the two bearded preachers. We are here, aiming to misbehave, bringing that beard behavior for you one more time. Here we are. How you doing, Martin?
Hey, man. I'm doing pretty good. I do want to ask you, have you been trolling anybody on Facebook lately?
You have no idea, my friend. It is on. I'm all lurking. I'm all like, hey, you're going to have to pay a toll so that we can buy some rolls.
The troll
toll. The toll troll. So I can buy some rolls. I'm going to try to rhyme everything and do a little dance. That's right, man.
Crazy.
It's going to be a good...
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
It's going to be a good one. Got some stuff. And major announcement tonight.
Major announcement.
Yeah, you'll have to wait till the end in order to hear that, though.
That's right.
Major. But the end usually is where the really, like, those little beautiful excerpts come in at the end.
Yeah, because we're both tired and, like, super drunk and high at that time. So
yeah,
that's just normal.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing on your end, but I'm drinking water.
I actually don't have a drink, but it's all good. So good.
So good.
So refreshing. So hydrational.
I like to keep myself hydrated during the podcast.
That's good.
So, but make sure you
keep it all moist.
Make sure you stick around for the very end and major announcement coming up.
Major announcement.
Can we talk about sexual harassment?
Sure.
Okay.
What about it? We probably shouldn't sexually harass people. I think sexual harassment is probably also a violation of a biblical view of sexuality.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think you shouldn't do that if you can help it.
Yeah.
And you can, so don't.
You totally can. But here, I totally agree. I'm not, I'm not sitting here going, no. No, I totally agree. Sexual harassment of anybody is unacceptable. Okay?
Yeah.
And, but where I'm going with that is that this is not, like, because I've heard a lot about this, and I'll be the first one to stand up and declare, no, this is wrong. Okay? You know me. Okay? I'll be like, no. And I'll be bold about it. I'll speak up. I don't care. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting here going to myself, because here's the deal. Like, and I've had, over the years, I've thought back, but, like, I have actually been getting sexually harassed. Via this...
Is it because of the beard?
Well,
yeah. When you're that sexy, it's hard. It's hard for folks to.
I mean, this beard is looking spot on. But like I have been getting sexually harassed as of lately, and
on the Twitch.
Yeah. Where I will be streaming and somebody will come in and say something rather graphic, and one of the things that I had to do was I actually had to go in and add all these words that could be used, like say you would take a letter out of something and it would still sound the same way.
Yeah.
You know? So I had to go ahead and write all these words, type all these words out, all these dirty words and a variation of spellings. And people will write in and then it'll pop up. This thing was denied. This question or this statement was denied because of this. And I had somebody put in there, hey, you want to stick your beep in my beep? And I was like, no, I do not. And it didn't. No one else could see it. Okay. And then like my mod that was in there, which I have great mods on my channel, they went in there and they hit denied, and I was like, I go, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I go, what's up with that? And they didn't say anything, and they did like a type that in like they were panicking a little bit, because I actually was getting ready to report them, and then they just were like, can we start over? And I was like, yeah, we can start over. It's no worries. And so
And you felt harassed by that?
I felt rather uncomfortable. But this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, I've had multiple times people coming in and saying really awkward things to me like that, you know? And then I thought back, you know, I was like, because like that's the thing, like, and I believe, you know, women have it hard and are very much sexually harassed. But I was just gonna say, like, dude, I have, as the more I thought about it, I'm like, I have been sexually harassed quite a bit over the years.
Well, I mean, you're playing video games online.
Not even that.
Streaming it.
I have been you know how many times I have been slapped on the butt by a lady?
Really?
Yeah. You know how many times?
Putting out a vibe, dude. I don't know. Are you putting out a vibe? Because that's not happened to me.
I don't know. It might just be my natural manly musk. I don't know. But I get slapped on the butt. I get my legs touched and everything. I've had like in the church come up and touch my chest. Like just put their hands on and I kind of am like and then I used to have an elderly woman after every single sermon I would preach for about 2 years would walk into the back and kiss me on the neck when I was done. Like, okay. I just, like, that is, like, I'm sitting there going, ugh.
Is that like the house painter thing where you should have put a stop to it earlier, but you just didn't feel right about it?
I didn't know how to. I didn't know how. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Next time she kisses your neck, just lick her forehead.
Nope.
Right across. Straight across. Not in a sensual way, just extra saliva. Right across the forehead and be like, listen, you initiated this kind of mouth to head contact. I'm just gonna knock this out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because if I did that, I would be in trouble. You know, but like if I go, like I'm like, listen, this and I here's the deal in like on the streaming. And when it's in there, it's been both guy and girl. It's not just girls. It's not. I mean,
equal
it's not
opportunity,
just,
bro.
Yeah, they're equal opportunists, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But I've had women come in there and say inappropriate, you know, telling me to take my shirt off and everything. And
I hate to tell you this, dude, but those are also guys.
Yeah,
women are not.
Doing
the Twitch thing. That's not what they're doing.
There's some.
No, there's not.
Okay.
They're all guys.
All right, this is all right. Now I'm really feeling
I just
worse
assumed
about this.
all their genders too.
Oh my gosh, we're in trouble.
I'm a terrible person.
But hey, have you ever been sexually harassed? Like now I said some of those things because here's the deal. Like if I did that to a woman, if I slapped a girl on the butt, that's sexual harassment.
No, that's sexual assault.
You're right. You were correct.
You go to jail for that.
But I get slapped on the butt. What is it?
I don't.
It's a good time. That's apparently what it is.
I don't think that.
Stay golden, pony boy.
I don't think that in our society that you would be able to say that it's sexual assault.
Really?
You might be able to say no, because I just don't think that we're in that place. I don't think you'll get a conviction. But I think that you can.
Very disappointed,
say,
Martin.
Well, I'm just telling you what I think. I don't think that. I think that it is harassment, right? I don't think that they should be touching your butt, right?
Or my leg or my chest. If
I
walked up to a woman and grabbed their chest, I'm going to jail.
Is it a good touch or a bad touch? That's a bad touch.
What is a good? You can't. None of those touches could be good.
A good touch or a bad touch?
None of those touches can be good. They're all bad.
Well, I mean, was it fey? Because that's a good touch.
That's a good touch.
Good touch.
Very good touch. But,
not fey, bad touch.
Yeah, but like anybody other than Faye walks up and touches my chest.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. It's
weird.
Yeah, but but I don't feel like the same standards apply.
I don't know. I've never had anything.
This one's gonna get me in trouble. I can already tell.
Probably. I've never had a situation where I felt like I was being sexually harassed, or that I was being hit on. But I've always been sort of oblivious to that kind of stuff.
Really?
So Leia might be able to say, "No, this person was hitting on you. You're just too stupid to know it."
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because
she's told me that before. This she was hitting on you, and I was like, no,
I'm hypersensitive to it. I think I might be hypersensitive to it.
Oh, okay.
But because that's the thing. Like I don't know if I'm hypersensitive or if I'm he's slapping me on the butt is not cool.
Yeah, I think I would notice that.
Yeah.
That seems really weird to me. What is the context? Were you at a softball game and you just hit a triple?
No.
Because that's not sexual harassment.
It happened to me at college.
At college?
Yeah, in the library.
So 10 years ago this happened to you?
Yeah, it happened 10 years ago, but I've had it multiple times even in our church.
That's weird. It brings us all the way back around again, Justin. Is sexual harassment appropriate in the church? Well, it's not strictly prohibited.
Like, you go to a sexual harassment...
But it seems inappropriate.
Do you go to a sexual harassment church? Like, is that a thing? Like, there's a cowboy church, a biker church, a sexual harassment church?
I would not be surprised for
I don't want to go there.
It
makes me uncomfortable.
I think you're putting out, not intentionally, but I think you're probably putting out a vibe. Because you also are cursed with seeing naked men. So
I haven't seen a naked man in a long time, though.
Well, that just means that the next one you see is either going to be really big or there's just going to be a whole lot of them. So,
I do take that back. I was watching a stream today, and I guess this new game got released called Conan Exiles. Mm-hmm. And it got released. It was in early access, but it just got released. The full game was released today, and I turned it on, and there's the character. He's this guy that just started the game, and the character's on the screen in his customization, buck naked.
Oh, they didn't blur it out.
No, I don't blur it out. It's there. It's not very big, but it's right there.
That's
rather shocking, and I was all like,
"Is that one of the adjustable parts?" Of the character,
I don't know. I don't think so.
Maximize or minimize.
I don't know, but I was rather vocal about it. I was like, "Hey, the first thing you need to do is craft some pants." and then somebody's like, "You can kick, or you hit this button to kick," and the guy starts kicking. I'm like, "Don't kick until you get pants. Have you ever tried to kick without pants? It's not a good thing." And then the guy's like, "I wonder about fall damage. Don't go down the side of that cliff. You don't have pants on yet. You're going to ruin everything." Everything was about pants. And I was like, no! It's a bad idea.
Come and talk about my pants.
You can throw a kick while I throw a punch, and I guarantee you, there's a really good chance you'll go down before I do. Not you personally, Martin, because I would never punch you in the face because you're my best friend in the whole entire world, and I want to scream it from a mountain.
Well, I wouldn't try to leg kick you.
See, because we're friends, we're best friends, and we would never do that. Scream it from a mountain, Martin.
There's no accounting for what people do these days, man. I don't know what to say.
True.
People done lost their minds.
Yeah.
So we got a question.
Yeah, we do. We have a very good question. This is from a buddy of mine. He is a Twitch streamer, and his name is W_Duck4. That's his Twitch name, and so
go check him out. W_Duck4.
W_Duck4. His question is this: Dear two preachers. It's not really a question, it's kind of a statement, but I'm going to kind of phrase it in a question, okay? Dear two bearded preachers, I'd like to hear a little on placing yourself in a worldly situation in order to share the gospel and tips to go about doing that.
Placing yourself in a worldly situation.
Yeah. Or being out there, and he wants tips on how to go about talking with other people and conversing with other people with a potential to get them to church or get them to know the Lord.
Oh, okay. I would say be a normal person. And go to places and be a normal person.
Go to where normal people are.
Go to where normal people are. Engage in normal activities. And what you'll find is that a normal activity is talking about your personal spirituality.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I go to the judo club. Mm-hmm. Because going to the judo club, I get to be out there in a normal place, relatively normal, and interact with regular people in a normal way. And while I'm there, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes we talk about spiritual issues. And I have an in there because I have a relationship with those guys and with those parents and with some of those kids. And I'm able to discuss all sorts of different subject matter. And, I'm up front with them. They know who I am. They know that I'm a preacher. They know that I'm a Christian, and they know that I think about and read about those sorts of things. So, questions come up. And when they have a theological question, because I'm in that community, I'm the one they ask. Mm-hmm. So I would say, be a normal person. Go about your normal business. Do the things that interest you. And while you're there and while you're interacting with folks, talk about the things that people like to talk about. One of those things is their personal spirituality. Ask questions. And what you'll find is that if you are willing to listen to somebody tell you what they think and tell you about their history and where they're coming from, that you will have, because you've listened to them, you will have the opportunity to share with them where you're coming from. And then you might be able to get into some deeper, more hardcore stuff. Now, some people like to do this just to ask somebody to go to church with them, and that's fine. If you want to broaden your community to the point where you are utilizing your social interactions everywhere you go to invite people to your church, that's great. I personally have not had a ton of success with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
I've found that it's far more successful for me personally, and it might be because I'm the preacher.
Yeah.
And if you're the preacher, then people, if you come right out the gate with, "Hey, I'm a preacher, and why don't you tell me about your relationship with the Lord?" and you ask the question like that, a lot of times you get weird looks.
Yeah.
Because I've done that kind of stuff. And you get
I've done it too, and I get looked at weird. So.
Yeah, because that's weird behavior.
Yeah, it's weird behavior. I have been looked at weird when people ask me, so what do you do for a living? And I go, I'm a preacher. And they're like, ooh. I get looked at weird that way. Anyway, so...
You?
Yeah.
You're a preacher?
Are you sure you're not homeless? I get that a lot.
That's because I thought you were homeless by,
yeah,
everything going on.
I thought you were a drug dealer. I was getting ready to ask you where I can get some really good weed. And I was like, nah, I don't.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh. So I think that is, yeah. First and foremost, go to where normal people go and just be yourself, first and foremost. But I think on top of that is like, you don't have to hide who you are. When you're doing that, you don't have to hide who you are. Like,
no, don't hide who you are.
If you're a Christian and like you said, I think most of the times, those topics are going to come up. Yep. Like, how many times have you been out with something where you're, with your kids, where your kids are doing an activity, and then other parents will be there, and a lot of times they'll be like, my kid is just getting in trouble. They'll talk to you about their kids. I don't know what to do with them. Yep. And then that's a great opportunity. You go, yeah, I hear you on that. I said, that's why I'm so thankful for, it's like an instant in going, I'm so thankful for the children's ministry at our church, or the youth ministry at our church. It's an instant in right there, because people want to talk about their kids, and what we don't understand is our kids are a spiritual issue. Every issue we have is a spiritual issue. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, well, there's a spiritual component to everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I just got through the surgery and everything like that, and it was so horrible. The recovery process was just painful, and I was struggling the entire time. I'm like, yeah, I just actually got done with the surgery too, and it was rough. And honestly, I'm really thankful. I had a church that was bringing me meals and everything like that. Everything has a spiritual connection, and so you don't have to hide who you are. But here's what I'm going to add into this: don't expect people that are outside the church to act like people that are inside the church.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah. But
most people that are inside the church don't act like they're supposed to act anyway.
Exactly.
So
that's a great point.
Why would you think somebody outside the church would act
like
that way?
half the people that are at the church are, just as jacked up as people are outside of the church. So why would you expect people outside of the church that have absolutely zero connections or zero influence from men and women of God, and they don't hear the word of God on a regular? Why would you expect them to be any different?
One of the funny things that Leia experiences at her school is that people, because she is the preacher's wife, people will assume, oh my, I can't say that. I can't be negative. I have to watch my language around her. I have to be on my best behavior around her because she's the preacher's wife.
You have to say things like, how are you doing? And they're all like, hey, too blessed to be stressed, which is a pet peeve of mine. I don't like that.
I've never heard that before.
You've never heard that before?
Awesome. No, that's terrible.
It's a pet peeve
so bad. I'm going to put it on my church sign.
Typically, they're the most stressed people, as people that say that. So.
But anyway, the folks at Leia's school, they will guard their language around her. They won't say anything that they think would be embarrassing because she's the preacher's wife.
Yeah.
Little do they know that Leia's upbringing was rough as anybody's upbringing that I've come across. Mm-hmm. I mean, just there ain't nothing in this world she ain't seen.
Little do they know that Leia actually has the mouth of a sailor.
She does not. In fact, she does not like the use of profanity, and I don't use profanity, and one of the big reasons why is because it would upset her, because she doesn't want to hear it.
Because she has the mouth of a sailor, and she uses it to describe everything and anything.
That is profoundly inaccurate.
That's
profoundly
my language is
accurate. Far worse than hers.
And she loves to just drop those bombs everywhere she goes, except around work, where people will look at her and go, "Aren't you the preacher's wife?"
Aren't you the preacher's wife?
So.
Well, in this town, everybody knows. So
it's true. It's true.
It's not a secret. Everybody knows who everybody is. It's all good. She's dropping F-bombs like Donald Rumsfeld.
You are forgiven, and you are forgiven, and you are forgiven.
Oh,
what are you, Oprah Winfrey of forgiveness? Leia,
so
come
much
on.
forgiveness. It's wonderful. I like it.
Oprah Winfrey.
It's good to have a very forgiving wife. I can tell you that much right now.
Oprah Winfrey of forgiveness. That's awesome, man.
But no, just to your streaming buddy, just go and be yourself and be normal. Allow these things to come up naturally when the opportunities arise. But also, one of the challenges that I found is that there's a lot of Christians out there that are just weird. They're just weird.
Yeah.
And I get that. These are my brothers and sisters in Christ, and I love them, but they're weird.
Super weird.
Yeah. And you got to be able to answer for that. You got to say, yeah, there's a lot of people in the church that are weird, bro. That's true. And then you just point out that everybody's weird in some way or another.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird people outside the church, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
It seems like people in the church are a little more vocal about it.
I would argue that everybody is pretty
put their weirdness right out there.
It's equally weird, but you just, like, when it's in the church, you have an excuse or something like that. Or not so much an excuse, but you're like, man, this is weird, and you're just like...
Yeah, they just tag it on to Christianity instead of being...
it's just people, it has nothing to do with Christianity, it just has to do with this person.
That's right, he's weird anyway.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of our good friend Chicken Dave. That dude's just weird.
Chicken Dave is weird, man.
That's just a weird dude.
Dude, that is a weird dude. And he would be weird whether he was in the church or out of the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that being in the church has calmed down some of his weirdness, which is a good thing.
I don't know if he's in.
I don't know
if he's even in the church anymore. I'm not too sure. He's not
mellowed him out.
Not in our church anymore. So.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Justin. Your church, you guys don't wear shirts or ties or jackets or anything like that. You don't do.
Okay, mind you, first of all,
you don't sing hymns. You don't have a book. You don't have any of that.
Okay, first of all,
you've got nothing.
We do wear shirts. I just want to clarify that we actually wear shirts.
Nope, topless. Topless church.
No,
that's Justin's church.
The men and women are all topless. That's actually the name. I was thinking about rebranding my church and calling it Topless Christian Church.
Topless Christian Church.
I feel
that's
like,
smart. That's
good, you can use your imagination on the logo, but I'm feeling like it's going to attract quite a few people. Okay.
I don't know.
Funny you bring up this whole rebranding thing, Martin.
Yes.
Because there, how like. You know what a troll is, right?
Yes, they live under bridges.
Fact.
They extract a toll when you cross the bridge, and they typically want you to answer some sort of
riddle,
some sort of word play. Yeah,
riddle.
Yeah. They like to rhyme riddles.
They do like to rhyme and riddle. Very good point, Martin. Very good point.
Maybe do a little jig as they're asking the riddle.
Yeah. Honestly, trolls are very entertaining for me. All right, trolls, and so there are times where we encounter trolls in the church, or in our circle of influence, I guess you would say.
Is that really how you want to ID this? You really think just trolling?
Are we identifying names today or no? Or we're gonna keep?
It's up to you, man. I can go either way. It's fine with me either way. He's the one who put it out there.
I think it's a troll. I think it's a troll. I think he's trolling.
You think he's trolling? I don't think he's trolling. I think he's just voicing his opinion. That's what Facebook's all about. Voicing your opinion. It's an unpopular opinion. But that's whatever.
Wait, you think Facebook is for voicing your opinion?
I think Facebook is primarily about sharing videos of cute animals and letting people know what children's awards your kids are getting.
Yeah.
So that way you can make your kids look better than the other people's kids.
That is accurate. That's the right answer.
That's what I use Facebook for.
I don't think Facebook was the intended use of Facebook was to get your opinion out to everybody and make everybody know that they're wrong and you're right.
But you can do that.
You can do that. I don't think that's the case.
It's a basic communications platform.
Yeah, I think it's for videos of goats fainting and playing with yoga balls.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's for that. And
I love fainting
and
goats.
Pictures,
so funny.
And that way your parents can see pictures of you, and your parents can see pictures of you and your kids, and not have to call you all the time and bother you. I think that's what it was intended for. Okay.
coming back.
One of our old
I
professors from where Martin and I graduated from Bible college, and one of our old professors, who is a gentleman that is getting up in years, is very tied to traditions in the church and everything, and has his own ideals on how the church ought to function and run and everything. Loves Facebook.
I don't think he loves Facebook. I think he sees it as a communications platform.
Yeah, I really wish he'd start posting more videos of goats playing with yoga balls, but
more pictures of his grandkids.
that's just me, okay?
Yeah.
So anyways, he has an issue with certain things that modern churches are doing, and he has lit the fire again, and this happens like every 2 months, pretty much, right?
Maybe not that. Maybe once a quarter.
It's quarterly. He'll light a fire
quarterly.
and go ahead and take up the mantle.
It's quarterly hilarity.
He takes up the mantle of all churches. All churches today suck, and you're doing everything wrong. And so
I don't. That's how you're taking it. I don't know.
hey, come on, he literally did say that. He literally did say that.
No, well, that's not what he literally said, for one. But he expressed joy at the fact that he was attending a church that had a simple traditional Christian name, that had a simple service, that didn't get into all the glitz and glitter and modern methodology, and was being effective and growing.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay.
He was saying positive things about that.
Okay.
But there was a little tongue-in-cheek. It's obviously that he was digging at
Let me quote. Do you mind if I quote?
Quote away.
You mind if I quote?
I do not. Quote away.
I recently visited 2 thriving congregations of the Restoration tradition in the Orlando area. Both were bursting at the seams, as the expression goes. Hey, praise God for that.
Hey.
That's not in there, but I'm saying this. Praise God. Okay, let me get back to my voice here.
Get back to it.
Both
Bring it
had
back
the
in.
same name they've had since founding, simply Christ of Church with street location. This whole thing started with rebranding. Like, why rebrand a church? Why rename a church and things like that? That's where it kind of started. So he makes a statement here. All right?
Yeah.
Both were well-lighted buildings that did not resemble a downtown nightclub like so many churches today. Both had pews, not theater seating. There was no praise team either. Both had a vibrant, well-attended adult Sunday school program. Those who served at the table, communion. And the minister wore coats and ties. I thought that I should jump up and say, "Men and brethren, you're doing church all the wrong ways. You'll never impact your community if you keep doing things this way." But then I decided to bite my tongue and simply learn from these brethren. I guess we do not really have to do church by the world's rules after all. End scene.
I mean,
Yeah! Encore!
you definitely
Encore!
you read it differently than I read it in my head.
Okay. Cool.
But I like the way you did it better. I mean, it's more entertaining.
I felt like that's how I heard it in my head, and so it puts a little bit more flair into it, right?
Yes, it's definitely flashy.
Yeah.
I really don't see. I mean, my church, I would say, is deeply traditional.
Yours is more along this right here, right?
Right. And sometimes I wear a jacket, and sometimes I don't. It has to. I really just like to shake it up.
Yeah, I hear you.
I do always wear long sleeves.
I do like to wear. I like to unbutton an extra button, show a little extra chest, because what I've been noticing lately is that
the ladies love the chest hair.
I'm getting a free coffee when I undo an extra button. All right, I'm getting free coffee. Like, I got 2 free coffees this last week, and so I'm thinking to myself, maybe this will translate into church growth. I don't know.
Yes,
right?
That's precisely the type of worldly methodology that the good doctor was referencing.
The good doctor was referencing that.
Yes. I don't... Look, I mean, he's a traditional guy, and he likes traditional worship service. I don't see a problem with that. And if there obviously are people out there who like traditional church or whatever, it doesn't break my heart for them to have it. Go ahead and have traditional church. It's all good.
Do it.
But I don't think that it's a very good thing to say that cultural standards from the 1950s ought to be universally applied.
Very good. Very good. Well said. I think that's very well said because
Should we stop?
No.
Should we stop right now? Because that's as good as it gets.
No, because I might have.
No,
I might have.
We're gonna say something.
I might have messed up in this whole situation.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I might have.
What did you do?
I might have messed up.
What did you do, Justin?
All right, let me just say this right here. Okay, I've got no problem that he found two vibrant churches that are growing and they're doing things traditionally. I don't care.
That's right.
I sit back and I hear that and I go, man, I don't care how you're doing it. I don't care whether you're singing praise songs or singing hymns. I don't care whether you're wearing a tie or not wearing a tie. If people are coming to the Lord, are people growing in their faith? Praise God. That's all I care about. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What I do care about is when kind of the ideal is imposed to say that everybody can do this, because that's kind of like what's in being imposed to him. I'll mind you, I will bust on contemporary churches right now, because the ideal that is being imposed on him is that you have to do church this way in order to get success. Okay.
Well, that is
point.
The popular thing out there.
But that's his point,
saying that you've got to transition
to
hyper contemporary in order to.
Yeah. You got to have a naked cowboy on stage wrapped in an American flag next to SpongeBob and Tickle Me Elmo. If you get that, you're good to go. All right. So I get why he is. I get why he's defensive. Okay, but I don't think it's wise, and I don't think it's a rather good idea to just lump all contemporary together, saying, hey, this is, and maybe I'm thinking too much into this, and maybe I messed up, but he kind of just was like, he was very, very sarcastic in the quote unquote what he put in there, how you're doing it all wrong. So that's what it was intended to be, and I get it, and I understand it, and it's not a bad point. It's actually very good, in my personal opinion, writing. I appreciate the writing. Okay, you can tell he sat down and put a lot of thought into that, and I appreciate the writing, and I actually appreciate if I could have heard the delivery of him, because I think his delivery would have been much better than mine.
It would have been hilarious.
I respect that. Okay, I totally respect that. But here's the deal. Because what he just said was, you're doing it, he's mocking that the contemporary church thinks they got everything under control and that you have to do it this way, but by mocking, he's saying, no, you're doing this wrong. Look, it can still be done this way and everything will be great. Mind you, my church is very different than your church. We've talked about this many times. My church is it would be considered a contemporary church. We do have some older individuals in our church, and and they're awesome. They're absolutely amazing. I get to meet with one tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning, which I'm like, this is really early. Okay, but I love it. Okay, but we do have predominantly a younger generation. Okay, and I might have incurred the wrath of the doc.
Why?
Because
I've been following this and I didn't see you post anything.
You are correct. I did not post anything on that link, and there is a reason. I didn't do it on purpose. Number one, I couldn't figure out how to get the link that I wanted to post in it. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, I thought to myself, I'm not going to troll him. I would like to make a point. Not as a troll, not as trying to get a reaction out of him, but to make a point as a brother to a brother. Mm-hmm. And so I sent him a video, a clip of the end of our service not this Sunday, but the Sunday before Mother's Day, of a young lady who was baptized in our church, who's severely troubled, struggling big time in life, and who we have brought into the church. We have taught, about God, she has learned so much about herself. She's learned so much about God. She's learned so much about the church. And we brought her in, and on Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, she was baptized. Mm-hmm. She had been one that I had been praying for a very long time, Martin. And I posted that video. I shared, private messaged that video to him. And then I said, our praise band is, I said, we have a praise band and we don't sing hymns. The lighting in our church is a little dimmer than normal. Some might consider it clubbish. And people don't wear ties in our church, and they don't even wear jackets. As a matter of fact, most people wear shirts untucked. But we preach the gospel, and lives are changed. I should put a short excerpt on the story of this young lady. I said, this is what she's come from, and this is where she is now. We shared the gospel with her. We taught her the truth of the Lord, and she entered into the waters of baptism 2 weeks ago. And then I ended. I didn't say anything else. That's all I put. And I'm not trying, and for me, I'm not trying to troll him. I'm just trying to get him to see that, sometimes, and here's the deal. I don't think my church is super flashy. But if you walk in and you're used to a traditional setting, you're going to think my church is flashy. Okay? You're going to think, you are. The lights go down, the guitars come up, the drums start hitting. You're going to think it's flashier, because it is flashier than a traditional church. Mm-hmm. It is not flashier than some of the other contemporary churches that I've been to, where I'm like, not my cup of tea. I understand that, okay? But I put it there because I'm like sitting here going to myself, listen, your argument, while I understand your argument, it's not necessarily universal. And I think, let me provide this example of this young lady being baptized, mm-hmm. and then, and make a decision for the Lord. And whose faith at this moment is so small, like she struggles, just like I think every single one of us when we enter into the waters of baptism, we don't got it all figured out. Our mm-hmm. faith is that of a mustard seed, okay, and so we use that, and I use that example to say, listen, here's the deal: if that's all we did. If we baptized this one girl this year, and we sang praise songs that we didn't sing hymns, and we didn't wear coats and jackets, and the lights were dim, mm-hmm. Who cares? Because that's his goal, and that's my goal, and that's our goal as the church, is to see people's lives change and commit themselves to the Lord. Who gives a crap about what songs we sing, or how they're done, or what the lighting is, or what I'm even wearing? I don't care about that. I care about a young lady's life being changed.
Yeah, I don't think that the good doctor would disagree with you.
I don't think he would either.
Right. I don't even think he would disagree with you when he's talking about methodology and all that sort of stuff. I think what's really going on is that I think that he's responding to an attitude that everything from the previous generation must be swept away.
I don't think it's...
And that's an attitude that I've heard.
Yeah, I think that's wrong. That's wrong.
Right. I agree. You shouldn't... Well... I'm a little bit of a history nerd, and I think that is dangerous to sweep away all the things that previous generations have given to us just because they're not trendy or whatever right now. Yeah. Right? I don't think that's good. Of course, because I'm also a history nerd, I like looking back a little bit further than just to the 1950s. Let's... Why not the 1550s? I mean, let's go back.
Hey.
Let's go back a little bit further.
You got more time on your hands than I do, apparently. How would you like to participate in the Two Bearded Preachers podcast? Well, Let me tell you how you can do that. One, you can go ahead and send us an email at twobeardedpreachers@gmail.com, or you can go ahead and give us a call at 951-47-BEARD. That's 951-472-3273. Leave a message, and if you do that, we'll actually play your voice, your message on the podcast. And don't forget to go ahead and give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. That will really help the show grow, and we would appreciate it greatly. Thanks so much. See you next week.
Okay, so we're going to set up a Patreon page.
We are?
Yes, we're going to set up a Patreon page.
I say it sarcastically, but I've been begging Martin for this for a while now.
That's right. Well, here's the deal. Here's how Patreon works.
Okay. Explain to me, explain to the viewers. Not viewers, listeners. Listeners.
Oh, man. That's okay. You can fix it in post. It's no problem.
Now I'm going to leave it.
Okay. Here's how Patreon works. If you like the show, you can go to a Patreon page that we will have, and it's patreon.com. And the way it works is you set up an account to give us $1 a month, or I think the second tier will be $3 a month.
So it'll be a 2-tier thing.
That's what I'm thinking. 2-tier thing. Very, very... And it's a way of you saying that you support the show, that you like it, that you want us to continue doing it, you appreciate it, that sort of thing, right? That's how it works. Now, what you get from being a patron of the show,
here we go.
You will get access to our page that we need to put some sorts of rewards on. Now, we've already decided that some of the rewards that we're going to put on there are some of the outtakes, some of the things that we're afraid would get us fired, that sort of thing that we say to each other that normally gets edited
Pretty much
out.
Means you have to pay to hear our fired stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, I was thinking, we have to think of some other things to put on this page besides just the stuff that will get us into trouble. We also talked about putting dad fails on there, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, different segments. So there'll be different segments.
What we need to ask our listener base is, what other sorts of materials should we put on there for patrons of the show?
Okay.
Now, this isn't going to go live yet. I want to get some feedback first.
Yeah.
Let's get some feedback. Let's hear from the Bearded Nation a little bit on what they think, what sort of things they're interested in